Well, hello there, big dog. This is Caleb Jones, and this is Alpha Male 2.0. Freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. So location-independent income through your own location-independent business that sets you free from your 9-to-5 job and collapsing Western world, gives you freedom of mobility and happiness, and dating multiple attractive women long-term with no lying, cheating, or drama, which we'll be definitely talking about in a few minutes here. The freest lifestyle a man can live in the modern Western collapsing era in which we find ourselves in. So I just said, as part of my usual intro, dating multiple, it's a very specific statement I'm making. I'm not saying dating lots of girls. That can mean a lot of different things. What I say in my intro for these Alpha 2.0 videos, podcasts, is dating multiple attractive women long term. So that means you need something sustainable, long term, not for 6 months or 9 months and you break up. Long term, with no lying to her. I don't lie to women. Don't need to. No cheating, because cheating is also lying, and cheating is part of monogamy. Lying, cheating, or drama. Because there are non-monogamous relationships that involve a lot of drama. We're going to talk about them in a minute. So that entire statement encapsulates the non-monogamous models I teach under the Alpha Male 2.0 model set. Not just having multiple girlfriends. You want to talk about drama? Holy fuck. Or having multiple wives. You're talking about drama. Or banging a bunch of girls. That doesn't necessarily mean it's monogamy or not, because you may not have relationships with those women. It's a very specific model we talk about here at Alpha Male 2.0. So today, and if you were watching the video version of this, you can see the slides. If you listen to the audio version of this, the podcast, that's fine. By the way, if you prefer the audio version of this, the podcast version of this, you can go to alphamale20.com/podcast. I'm on all the usual podcast platforms. So today's topic is, I'm going to do a deep dive analysis into all of the alternatives to monogamy. All of them. All the different types of non-monogamy. And there's about, 13 or 14 of them. We're going to go through all of them. We'll go through every one of them. Most of them are bad. So it says in the slide here, what works and what doesn't. Some versions of non-monogamy suck. They're terrible. Some versions are okay, but they're not sustainable. You can't do it for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years like you can with my models. Some models are good. We'll talk about those. Some models are mediocre. We're going to talk about all of them. And the reason this is important is because you guys are on the internet. That's where you are right now. You've seen lots of other guys in the red pill space, in the dating space, in the Andrew Tate-ish type space, in the Instagram influencer space, who are men who are having these types of non-monogamous relationships. And you're going, well, that's cool. If he can do it, so can I. And you don't understand the pros and the cons of those kinds of relationships. So I'm going to analyze all those without mentioning any names. I'm not going to mention any names. You can in the comments if you want, but I'm not. When I say certain things, you'll say, oh, I know that so-and-so is doing that, and so-and-so is doing that. Okay. Hang on, let me check the technology here. We'll get into our slides. Let's see here. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to do this without a mouse cursor, see if I can pull this off. First, we have to be clear in our definition of monogamy. When I say monogamy, I mean something very specific. A lot of people say the word monogamy and they pull in 10,000 different things. No. So when I say monogamy, I'm talking about the dictionary definition of monogamy, which a lot of people try to warp when they try to defend monogamy. That means you are only being physically sexual with one woman. One, that's it. One woman, and she is only being physically sexual with you. She's not being physically sexual with anyone else. And I'm saying physically sexual. I'm not saying sex. What if you have a blowjob? That doesn't count. Yes, that counts. Physically sexual. Okay? So that's what monogamy means. A man and a woman being physically sexual with each other, and neither party is being physically sexual with anybody else. That's the definition of monogamy when I use the term. Okay? So if you are completely single, you're not having any sex, you're not monogamous because you're single, you don't have any sex. That's not monogamy, that's celibacy. Okay? Right? Very importantly, if you are in a, quote, monogamous relationship, unquote, and you are cheating on your girlfriend or your wife, you are fucking other women or getting physically sexual, if you're making out, that counts, with other women besides her, you are not monogamous. The split second you cheat on your girlfriend or your wife, you are now non-monogamous. You can't say you're monogamous anymore because you're having sex with multiple people. And a lot of men will defend monogamy and they'll say, well, I'm monogamous. It works great. Like, didn't you just cheat on your girlfriend last month? Yeah. Okay, then you're not monogamous, dumb fuck. You're not. And same thing, by the way, if she cheats on you. So if you have a girlfriend or a wife, and unfortunately there's a category of you who have this problem, you're in a, quote, monogamous relationship, you're with a girlfriend or wife who cheated on you in the past and you got over it, you'll go, well, okay, just don't do it again. You are not in a monogamous relationship anymore. You are now in a non-monogamous relationship. You're in a cheating relationship, which is a dysfunctional non-monogamous relationship, if that makes sense. We're going to cover this. All right. So just be aware, if either person cheats, you're not in the realm of monogamy anymore. Monogamy has failed. When I talk about the failure rates of monogamy, cheating counts. Some people think, well, if you're married and you just never get divorced for 30 years, you made monogamy work. No, you didn't, because one of you is probably cheating at some point. Maybe not the second, but most people in the Western world, not the Middle East, not parts of Asia, in the Western world, if you have a relationship that lasts that long, someone's already cheated. Through the man or the woman, which means it's not monogamous anymore. Okay? The marriage has succeeded, but the monogamy has failed. You can have a successful marriage and a failed monogamy. You can do that. Okay? All right. Very important point about this before we get into the topics, into the specific types of non-monogamy. A lot of traditional guys, Christian guys, Muslim guys, traditional conservatives will bring this up. Monogamy and pair bonding are not the same thing. So when I say you shouldn't ever be monogamous, monogamy is stupid, because it is. What a lot of very right-wingish guys will say is, well, are you kidding? What do you mean? Well, then if no one's monogamous, then no one will ever have any children, and all the alphas will fuck all the girls, and 95% of betas won't get. You need to have marriage. I didn't say don't get married. I'm married. Hello? I'm married. Marriage is great. It's monogamy. It's a problem. So you can be pair bonded and not monogamous. Me, for the past about 10 years, now I just changed things about a year ago, but for about 10 years, and it worked great, I was pair bonded to Pink Firefly, but not monogamous to her. I was married, emotionally exclusive, having sex with other women every week. We'll discuss that in a few minutes too. We'll analyze that. So you can be pair bonded in a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship or a marriage, but not be monogamous, which is the smartest way to be pair bonded. I have said this on my blogs before. I'm happy to say this again. I am not anti-marriage. I never have been. I'm anti-monogamy. So if you want to get married, but two things, and I talk about this in my books, my blogs, all my content, if you're allowed to have sex with other women whenever you want, A, B, your finances are 100%, and I mean 100%, enforceably protected in case she breaks up with you or divorces you, go ahead and get married. Married is great. I'm married to Pink Firefly. I love it. I always love it. The problem isn't marriage. The problem is monogamy, you being forced at gunpoint to only have sex with one woman, which is stupid, and it won't make you happy. And also with marriage, being financially destroyed, at least in the Western world, if you get divorced. Okay? Which is outside the scope of this particular discussion, but you get my point. So you can be pair bonded and not monogamous. Two examples would be OLTR, or an OLTR marriage like I have with Pink Firefly. Or if you're cheating. If you're cheating, you're pair bonded, you're not monogamous. All right, so with that background, hang on. Here are all the versions of non-monogamy, all the alternatives to monogamy. When I say alternatives to monogamy, I mean non-monogamous models. Obviously, one alternative is just don't have sex and be an angry incel or angry MGTOW. Don't recommend that, because I talk about long-term consistent happiness for men. You will not be happy for not having sex. If you don't care about happiness, and some of you weirdos don't, you need to stop watching this video podcast and go watch Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson and Donald Trump, because they're very unhappy people. Go watch them. Or at least sometimes happy, sometimes mad. You want to be consistently happy, you can't be monogamous, A, and you can't be celibate, B. You have to be having sex with multiple meaning two, not 12, two women on a regular basis who are attractive to you. Okay, here we go. These are listed in no particular order. First one is no relationship. You're just dating and getting laid. Let's see if I can do this other mouse cursor. It drives me crazy. So that's not a relationship model, but it is a lifestyle model, which means you're not monogamous, right? If you don't have a girlfriend, if you haven't made any commitments to anybody, but you're having sex with several women, two or more, then by definition, you're non-monogamous, right? Right. High amount of freedom. This is a good model to follow, especially if you're focused on your business, focused on your work, focused on your fitness. You're doing hardcore 5 flags. Great. Do not have an OLTR. You don't even need MLTRs. You don't need a girlfriend. Don't need a wife. Date, play the field, have fun. Wonderful. Highly recommended for men who are busy and very much so for men under 30. I have said 10,000 times, if you are under the age of 30, you cannot have a girlfriend or an OLTR. It is stupid, 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 stupid. If you're under 30, you go get a girlfriend, you are destroying your future. You're making it 10 times harder to be more successful in life. Don't fucking do that. Wait till you're in at least 30s, ideally 35 or above. Now, downside. This is not long-term sustainable. Why? Because eventually, as you get older, you're going to want a pair bond with someone. You're going to want something. And I've said this many times. All these young guys, young as in under the age of 35, say, well, I'm never getting married. Well, I'm never moving with a woman ever. That's insane. I'm red pill. I'm never moving in. Really easy to say when you're 28 or 31. Come back when you're 47 or 55 and look me in the face and tell me you don't want to do that. You will. All these guys saying, I'm never going to. You wait 10 years, 15 years, and they're living with somebody. So dating is great. Not having a relationship is wonderful. I did that for many, many, many years. At various points in my life, it was awesome, and I loved every minute of it. But it's not going to be the rest of your life. You need to realize this when you're young. You have to think about when I get something more serious, when I settle down, and you don't have to move in with someone to settle down. A lot of variations of settling down. How do I want that structure? Because you're not going to want what you want. When you're 47, you're not going to want the same exact things in your life as when you're 25. All these 26-year-old guys, I'm never having kids. I'm never getting married. I'm never moving. Yeah, you will. Men especially. So it's not long-term sustainable for the rest of your life. Now, it's long-term sustainable in terms of like you can do it for 5 or 10 years. But trust me, when you're 57, are you going to want to be going to clubs and banging chicks? No, you're not. Are you going to really want to be swiping on Tinder and Bumble when you're 59? Probably not. There are rare exceptions, but probably not. I don't. I'm 52, and I don't. All right. Next model is, of course, cheating. That is a form of non-monogamy. So you can promise. So let's get our definition straight. That means you are promising monogamy to a woman. You're saying, yes, girlfriend or wife, I won't get sexual with any other women except you. I promise. And then that is a lie because you go behind her back and you fuck or get sexual with someone else. That's what cheating means. And she doesn't know until you get caught, which you will. It sucks. Cheating sucks. I have talked about this in great detail in my blogs, my books. You can refer to those things if you like. Cheating will never make you long-term happy as a man. You will never be long-term happy if you have a cheating relationship. If you are, quote, monogamous in quotes, I call these relationships monogamous in quotes, when they say they're monogamous, they're actually cheating on the side and the wife or girlfriend doesn't know. You will never, ever, 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 ever be long-term happy for 2 specific reasons. Number 1 is you will always be worried about getting caught. And I know a lot of guys who cheat, who are like serial cheaters. They are constantly worried about getting caught. They're constantly freaking out about this. They can't ever relax. I can completely relax because everyone in my life knows exactly what I'm doing. And I don't care because I'm outcome independent, unlike guys who cheat. By the way, if you cheat, you're saying I'm outcome dependent. I hope she doesn't find out because then she might break up with me. That's a pussy move. Cheating is a beta male move. Alpha male 1.0s do it, but it's a beta male move. The true alpha male says, I'm going to go fuck other women, girlfriend or wife. You don't like it, get the fuck out. And now make your decision because I'm going to go do this. That's an alpha male. An alpha male is not, okay, I better hide it from Susie because if she finds out, she might break up with me and then I'll cry like a little bitch. That's what cheating means. Horrible on your self-esteem. Number 2, I have analyzed this in great detail in my blogs. You will eventually get caught. Men are awful, 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 awful at cheating and keeping it a secret. You have massive OBW, obviously biological wiring, and societal programming, men, to brag about your sexual conquests. So at some point, when you try to hide cheating and not telling everybody, you're going against all of your wiring. You can do it for a while, but eventually you're gonna fuck this up. Plus, men are just stupid. Men are just dumb about this crap. I've talked many times about how when women cheat on their husbands, they're like CIA agents. They're like James Bond. They're like ninjas. They're amazing. They every detail they figure out. Men, no. I've had men in the workplace, men I barely knew. It's happened several times. I should tell these stories when I have more time on a different podcast. These guys come up to me and say, "Oh man, a married guy with like little kids. Oh man, I fucked this girl last night. We fucked in the shower. She was so great. She's a massage therapist, dude." And I'm like, I remember this one guy who was telling me this. I'm like, I was at a company with him, and I know this guy's wife. I know this guy's phone number. I could make one phone call and destroy his life, and I barely know this guy. That's how men are. So you're gonna get caught. You're gonna have drama from hell. You're gonna have all kinds of fucking problems. So cheating is not a long-term happy model. Which brings us to the next type of non-monogamous relationship. I have coined this the Mediterranean marriage. That's not an official term. That is a Caleb term that Caleb made up for my books. So I talk about this in my books. You could call this the Hispanic marriage, the Spanish marriage, the Italian marriage, the Greek marriage. So Mediterranean cultures tend to do this more often. But non-Mediterranean cultures do this too. There are Americans who do this. There are Canadians who do this. There are people in the UK who do this shit. What is a Mediterranean marriage or Mediterranean girlfriend-boyfriend relationship? When I say marriage, it could be a serious girlfriend-boyfriend couple. But usually it's a marriage. This is when they promise monogamy to each other, man and wife, they're monogamous. Husband goes and cheats, gets caught. The wife explodes, but doesn't divorce him. She stays with him. And instead, she spends the rest of her life screaming at him. Yelling, screaming, threatening, throwing pots and pans at him. It's nonstop drama. She doesn't leave for whatever reason. Maybe she's scared to leave. Maybe it's for the good of the kids. Maybe she's religious. Maybe she doesn't want to let her mom down. Maybe he's very wealthy. He got a lot of that. He's rich. And she doesn't want it. She knows she can't get a rich guy because she's starting to get older. Whatever reason, she stays around the cheating husband who she can't fucking stand. And she screams at him for the rest of his life. So the husband just puts up with nonstop fucking drama for the rest of his life because he's out philandering and she knows she hates it, but she won't leave. Does that sound fun? It sucks. I can't think of a worse lifestyle to live. And I know men who do this. I know men who have Mediterranean marriages. And again, most of them are Mediterranean type men. This is a highly dysfunctional, extremely unhappy relationship. Shoot myself in the fucking head. I don't understand it. This is a high drama, unhappy relationship. This is only for high drama men. There are such a weird category of men. Many of them are Hispanic. I'm not being racist. This is the fact. Who kind of like relationship drama. They kind of like fighting and screaming at their girlfriend or wife. I have a brother like this. He kind of likes screaming at his wife and having his wife scream at him. They kind of get off on that drama, on the high. Great. Or if you're really fucked up mentally, fine, go ahead. Go do a Mediterranean marriage. Other than that, no. If you want to be long-term happy, you can't do that one. I'm sorry. Open convenience marriage, otherwise known as a marriage of convenience. This is an interesting one. I know a lot of people like this. There are many celebrities like this. I can name names in a few minutes. This is when a man and a woman are married or cohabiting, married-like relationship. And the reason they're married is not because of the marriage or because of fidelity or because of sexual loyalty or in that shit. They're married for something external. They're married for money reasons of power, politics, things like that, or fame. So if they got divorced, their empire would crumble and they know it. So they stay married, but they both fuck other people. They cheat on each other. They both kind of know they're cheating. They don't like it, but it's an understood thing. Lots of drama, lots of arguments because it's on an oil tear. There's no ground rules. So the wife is screaming at the husband. The husband's bitching at the wife all the time. But they stay together because, well, if we break up, we'll lose this empire. Make sense? Real life couples. Bill and Hillary Clinton have a open convenience marriage. Bill philanders like a mad dog. Hillary is well aware of it. And what's interesting about these couples, here's another one is, I'm jumping ahead. What's another one? Jay-Z and Beyonce have a marriage like this. They both cheat. They can't get divorced because it's that part of their brand is that they're a power couples. They can't get divorced. It'll ruin their brands. They stay together. They beat each other up and they scream and yell at each other, and they put up with a bunch of cheating and bullshit. But to them, it's worth staying together. Like Bill and Hillary Clinton. There are lots of people in politics who have marriages like this. Lots of celebrities have marriages like this. Lots of rich people have marriages like this. It's awful. It's pretty much as bad as a Mediterranean marriage. What I was going to say is, these people have to pretend like it's monogamous. So what happens in open convenience marriages, and you've seen this happen throughout history, last 30, 40 years, if it leaks out that one of the two people are cheating, usually the man, because men cheat more, the wife has to pretend to be surprised. Oh, he's cheating on me? You've seen Hillary Clinton do this in the 90s. You saw Beyonce do this about 15 years ago. How dare he cheat? That's awful. He should. I can't believe it. It's an act. She knows goddamn well he was cheating well before that, part of the marriage. But they can't say that because it makes them look like female cuckolds, which is called a cuckwing. They can't look uncool, so they have to pretend. So when Bill was philandering all these chicks and Monica Lewinsky back in the 90s, Hillary had to say in these stupid interviews, well, Chuck, Hillary, what did you do when you found out he was cheating on you with Monica Lewinsky, even though Bill had been cheating on her for 25 years and she knew it? Well, I was completely shocked, Jim. I just couldn't believe my eyes, and I couldn't believe she made all this shit up. Same thing with Beyonce. I just couldn't believe that Jay-Z would fuck other women. How dare you? You already knew, bitch. So that's what these marriages are. Once again, you will never be long-term happy in a marriage like this. I don't think any of you will run into this, because in order to have a marriage like this, you need to have a lot of money or be very powerful or famous. So you're probably not going to run into this, but these people are never going to be long-term happy. And they kind of don't want to be, in my opinion. And this is, in my opinion, the money, the fame, the power isn't worth it, at least in my opinion. Bill and Hillary and Jay-Z and Beyonce and 10,000 other couples we can name should have gotten divorced a very long time ago. Be much happier people. It's not worth it. All right, moving on. This one is common. I have a lot of people who I run into this. I have a lot of people in my audience who attempt this. When guys join my programs, I ask them, they bring this up. This is a threesome only relationship. This is a pussy's version of non-monogamy. This is where you are allowed to fuck. You have a monogamous girlfriend or wife. You are allowed to fuck other girls, but only if it's in a threesome with your girlfriend or wife. Who do you think is in control of that model? The man or the woman? The woman. Because she has to pick who you fuck and who you don't. She can veto any woman she wants. Right? This is a terrible, terrible fucking idea. It's awful. This is completely unsustainable, and it is temporary, because here's what happens 100% of the time, and I mean 100% of the time. What will eventually happen if you don't break up or get divorced first? So statistically, you'll break up or get divorced at some point. But if you stay together long enough, here's what's going to happen. The woman will stop wanting to do it. The guy will say, I got this girl, we could bring her over this weekend. And she goes, I don't want to do threesomes anymore. He's like, what? Yeah, I don't want to do it. Especially when they hit age. What age? 33. Okay. She doesn't want to do it anymore. I'm tired of it. I just don't want to, I need to spend time with the baby, and I need to do whatever female excuse you get. And now, guess what? He's monogamous. Congratulations, idiot. You are now monogamous. So a threesome only relationship means I'm going to be non-monogamous, sort of, for about a year or two, until my girlfriend and wife says she doesn't want to do it anymore. Then I'll be monogamous. It's just phase 1 to monogamy, and monogamy is phase 2. This happens 100% of the time, unless you break up first, unless you break up very quickly. I have never seen a scenario where this didn't happen if the relationship lasted long enough. The woman eventually said, I don't want to do threesomes anymore. Why not? Because they're gross. He's like, and now he's monogamous. So you're just not thinking this through. These guys who agree with like threesome only relationship, don't do this. Don't. You should be allowed to have sex with whomever you want. For the past almost 20 years of my life, including when I was married, I still am. I can fuck any woman I want. I don't need anyone's permission from anything, including my wife. My wife's permission. I can do whatever I want. That's what you need to do. That'll make you happy. You can try to keep going. She'll explode. Oh, right. So when she says, I don't want any more threesomes, if you keep pushing her to do it, or you fuck a girl on the side, you're cheating now, and then you have an explosion. Next one, very similar to swinging, being a swinger. There's a very specific term for this, or definition for this. I've known many swingers in my life. A I could give you stories. I don't have time. Swinging means that you as a couple fuck other couples. You have foursomes or something similar to that. So you and your wife go with another man and wife, and you wife swap in the same room at the same time. So you fuck other guys' girlfriends or wives, and the guy fucks your girlfriend or wife. Sometimes you take turns, sometimes a foursome, but you're all four of you are involved around the same time. You are not allowed to independently go fuck other women. You cannot do that in a swinging relationship. That is against the rules. Now, one plus about swinging, I have known a lot of swingers. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and that's a big swinging culture. We have sex clubs there. At least we did. I don't know now. I haven't been there many years, thank God. But anyway, swingers are very happy people. They love the relationship. Swinging has never been something I wanted to do. Not my thing, but some of you are into that stuff. Great. Swingers are very happy with it. Swinging women and swinging men, they love it. They love it. I've had people in my family do it. They loved it. They love it. They love it. They love it. Men and women both. However, it's not sustainable. Why? Same exact problem with the threesome only relationship. What's going to happen if you have a swinging marriage or a swinging relationship is that eventually the woman will want to stop. 100% of the time. You can set your watch to this. At some point, at some age, she's going to say, you're going to say, okay, let's go to the sex club. I found this couple. Look how hot he is. Look how hot she is. It'll be great. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. He's like, well, what? What? Yeah, I don't want to do it. It's gross. Yeah, I gained too much weight and I just want to do it anymore. And whatever feminine reason she gives, doesn't matter what the reason is. Okay, we're talking about women here. And now guess what? You're monogamous. So swinging, very similar to threesome. Now, it does last longer than threesome only relationships. Those do, because women in their 30s and 40s will swing. Whereas threesome only, she hits 33, 34, 35, she's done. Swinging women can go into their 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s. So it can last longer, but it doesn't last forever. She will eventually want to stop doing it, and you're not allowed to fuck other girls. So now congratulations, moron, you're monogamous. Again, guys who do threesome only relationships and swinging relationships are not thinking things through. They're not thinking strategically long-term about how women operate. She's just saying, well, I guess you can fuck other girls as long as I'm involved. He goes, okay, and he doesn't think it through. Okay. Next one, the one-sided open relationship. Every man's fantasy. This is where you have a girlfriend or wife, you can fuck other women, but she is not allowed to fuck other guys. And as soon as I say that, about 70% of you go, yes, that's what I want. That's perfect. Okay, here's the problem with this. Unsustainable in the Western world. Now, let me define Western world in case you're new to my content. Western world means United States, Canada, Western Europe, partially Eastern Europe, mostly Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Okay? If you live in those countries or regions, this is not long-term sustainable. You can do it for a few months. You might be able to do it for a year with one exception I'll cover in a second. Maybe. It will not work because eventually in the Western world, your girlfriend or wife is going to hear from 100% of all the women she knows, her mom, her sisters, her friends, everyone like, wait a minute. This is what they're going to say to your girlfriend and wife. Wait a minute. Excuse me. He's fucking other women, but you can't fuck other guys? Well, yeah. Well, what the fuck, bitch? Why are you doing that, Susie? You need to take control of yourself. That's completely unfair. I would never do that. And she's like, oh, really? And she hears this over and over and over and over and over again. And guess what? At some point, what happens, and I've statistically looked at this, it's about, in terms of my anecdotal experience with my audience over the last 17 years, 8 to 9 months. Within 8 to 9 months, one of two things occur. She will either make an ultimatum to you. She'll come and say, you know what? I don't like this anymore. You need to stop fucking the women because I want a real relationship. Okay. Or more often, she'll just start fucking other guys. She'll just cheat on your dumbass and fuck guys like me. And I mean that literally. So, and then she won't tell you. I have seen scenarios where a girl in one-sided open relationship, boyfriend's fucking all these girls, but she's not allowed to. She fucked his brother. She'll fuck like your best friend. And the reason she'll do it is to make it, quote, even. Because she's going to get in her head, this is not fair. What are modern day Western girl boss women all about? These left wing? Fairness. It's all about fairness. Fairness. Well, this isn't fair. I'm going to make it fair. Now I'm going to go fuck someone to make it fair. Whereas if you just let her fuck other men, statistically speaking, she won't fuck other guys and she will never want to. I know it's hard for me to understand this. We can talk about this more later if you want, but that's how it works. Okay. Now, you might hear of these weird cases. This can happen. There's one exception to this rule is if you're paying her a lot of money. I don't mean you're throwing her a few $100 at her like a sugar daddy thing. If you're married to her, she's your live-in girlfriend, and you're giving her like $100,000 a year, or you give her own apartment, and you're paying all of her bill, thousands of dollars a month, then you can extend this maybe. I have seen that happen where it goes past the 8 or 9 months because the girls are making so much money. Andrew Tate did this. I don't know if he's still doing this. Well, they did that with Andrew Tate, yes, but they were making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this for Andrew Tate. That's a little different. And how'd that end up? Didn't he go to jail because when these girls got mad at him? Yeah. Okay. Because this is how it works. Girls get pissed. So if you want to, shell out hundreds of thousands of dollars, some chick, maybe. Now, she'll still give you drama about it, and she still will probably cheat on you eventually, statistically speaking. This does not work long-term in the Western world. Now, if you want to, I've said this 10,000 times, if you want to move to Saudi Arabia, convert to Islam, and have 4 wives and little burqas, great, go ahead and do that. You're not going to do that, though, are you? You're going to stay in the Western world, which means you can't do this long-term. It's not long-term sustainable. What I talk about is long-term sustainable, happy, non-monogamous relationships. Okay. Next one, polyamory. This is where you do not have a girlfriend per se. You don't have a wife per se. You are dating, and it's not just fucking, it's real dating, real relationships with multiple women, 2 or more. And the women can also date, full-on date other men and carry on relationships with other men. Gets a little complicated, a little confusing, but that's what polyamory means. Under my model set, Alpha Male 2.0, you have MLTRs. MLTR is one version of polyamory. One version. There's several different flavors of polyamory. We could get into detail, but I don't want to. There's beta male polyamory. There is a beta male form of polyamory. So let me address that. A lot of red pill guys or tough guys will denigrate polyamory by pointing out the extreme beta male versions of it. They'll say, polyamory sucks. Look at this YouTube video. This has happened many times. You've seen this. And they'll show this interview of this ugly little woman with these 2 skinny little beta males sitting next to her on a couch. So she has 2 boyfriends because it's polyamorous. And they're like, oh, yeah, I love my 2 men. They're great. I fuck them whenever I want. I fuck other guys. It's great. And then they interview the 2 beta males. They're like, yeah, I just fuck her because she's awesome. Yeah. And the other guy, yeah, she's awesome. And, sometimes I go upstairs and wait my turn while she fucks my friend here. And yeah. So some forms of polyamory are good. Some are neutral. Some are really bad. But I'm just saying this is one of your options. Polyamory can work well provided the model set is correct. There's plenty of communication and clear expectations. If you follow the MLTR model, if you follow the cardinal rules in my books, my blogs, it works great. Don't do the beta male version, though. So polyamory is fine. I spent 10 years dating MLTRs. I loved it. It's great. Over 10 years. High amount of freedom. It's one of the advantages of this. You can do whatever you want. You don't have a girlfriend or wife. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can have, your polyamorous women. You can have FBs. You can have one-night stands. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's great. It's one level above just hooking up with chicks and having one-night stands because you're carrying on recurring relationships. Next one, polygamy or polygyny. Polygamy means one person married to multiple people. So polygyny, which is what we're really talking about here, is one man with multiple wives. So you have one guy, multiple wives. They can only fuck him. He can fuck all the wives. And maybe he can fuck women outside of his wives too. Once again, another male fantasy. As soon as I say multiple wives, one guy with multiple wives, a bunch of you, most of you are very young and inexperienced, don't know how women work. Well, yeah, that's what I want. I want multiple wives. That'd be great. Holy shit. Extremely high drama in the Western world. They've done studies on this. They have many documentaries about this, like Mormon, these Mormon dudes who marry like 9 chicks. And these women are constantly complaining at the guy, bitching at the guy. How come, Friday night was Susie's night. It was supposed to be my night. Why'd you move me? And how come you got her this gift and not me? And It's nonstop fucking drama from hell, not only between you and your wives, but your wives will fight each other. It's a nightmare from hell. Again, it's similar to the Mediterranean marriage. This is only for high drama guys. If you like a lot of drama, go move in with a bunch of women in your house. I've said this many times. 3 wives living in my house. I can't think of a worse form of hell. Are you insane? Well, Caleb, you don't do that. You buy 3 houses, like in that show with Bill Paxton, and you put the houses next to each other. Same fucking problem. Same amount of drama. That's not going to help. You're living in a fantasy land in the Western world. I will say again, if you want to move to Saudi Arabia and convert to Islam and be a Sunni Islam and, put on your thobe and marry your 4 wives, wear burqas, great. Go ahead and do that. You're not going to do that. Are you? You're a Westerner. You're not going to do that. Right? Not happy or sustainable in the Western world. And even in the non-Western world, there are issues. I live in Dubai, and I know Muslims here with multiple wives. It ain't no cakewalk, let me tell you. Sometimes it is when they're very rich. Okay, are you very rich? But even then, are you going to be dating a bunch of little Muslim women? Are you going to be dating Western women, Americans, Canadians, Europeans, Eastern Europeans, Russians? Try having multiple wives and one of them is a Russian. God. Oh, so stupid. Okay. Only for men who like lots of drama, correct. And I understand there's a percentage of you, I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you're watching my stuff, who like drama. I think it's kind of fun. Great. Go get a bunch of wives and move them all in and watch what happens to your happiness. Good God. All right, next one is emotional exclusivity. And examples on the alpha male tool, but it'll be the OLTR or the OLTR marriage, what I've been doing for the past 10 years. This is where you have one girlfriend or one wife. And I define wife as a girlfriend you live with full time. That's a wife because you live the lifestyle of a married man. Okay? You have one, not 6, one, not 2, just one. And you can have sex with all the other women you want on the side as long as you don't date them. You're just hooking up, you're not dating. So in my parlance, that would be OLTR and as many FBs as you want. I've been doing this for 10 years. Wonderful. Wonderful. It's the best of both worlds. It's amazing. Only for older men. You can't do this if you're under 30. Okay, sorry. But your 30s. And then wait longer if you can. I didn't do this till I was in my 40s. Let's see. What do I have in the slides here? Only for men over 30, correct? Thank you. Thank you, Caleb. Works extremely well if you follow all the correct models. Oh, by the way, I mentioned above, the same rules apply to her. So unlike a one-sided open relationship where you say, I'm going to fuck other girls and you can't fuck other guys because the Bible says this and Andrew Tate said that and John Anthony Lifestyle said this, so you can't do that. Okay. Unlike that, that'll only last a few months before she cheats on you and fucks your brother or dumps you or gives you an ultimatum. In this model, you'll say, if you really want to, here's what will happen. She'll say, if she's stronger, if she's a nicer girl, she won't even do this. Her mom might do this because her mom did this to me, Big Firefly's mother. But if she's a stronger girl, she'll say, okay, when you first pitch this to her, okay, I'm going to fuck other women. I'm only going to date you. I'm only going to love you. I'm only going to be, you're my wife. You're my girlfriend. No others. I'm just going to have chicks on the side for the rest of my life. The first question out of her mouth, if she's a Western woman, will be, well, can I fuck other guys then? Now, that doesn't mean men, because men don't understand women. That doesn't mean that she wants to fuck other men. Women are not like men. I have entire chapters in my books explaining how women are not like men. They don't want to go fuck a bunch of dudes. That's not how women are, with rare exception. And if there's a woman like that, you don't marry her. Okay? What she's saying is she wants to make it, what did I say? Fair. She doesn't care about fucking guys. She just wants the same rules because in her feminine logic, she wants to be fair. So what you do in an emotionally exclusive relationship, OLTR, is you say that if that's something you really want to do, of course you can. If that's something you really want to do, fair is fair. Then she goes, oh. And you diffuse all that. And most women, especially women who are over the age of 26, 27, won't fuck other guys. They don't want to. Best of both worlds. Okay. That's how it works. Long-term sustainable. You can have OLTRs for 35 years straight. I know OLTR couples in their 40th year. I know a couple who just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. OLTR marriage. Unlike most of these other models, this is long-term sustainable. You can do this for decades. I did it for 10 years. The only reason I changed is because I moved to another country. I talked about this in one of my prior podcasts, and my wife didn't love the new country. So I had to make some changes. That's the only reason. If I had stayed in the US, it would have worked for the rest of my life. Maybe. You don't know. You never know. But you get my point. Next one, speaking of that, is PDM, polydomestic marriage. This is something I invented that I'm doing now. I've been doing this for about a year and a half. In a few years, we'll see if it works. I think it will, at least for me. I did an entire podcast on this called What I've Been Hiding or something like that a few weeks ago. You should watch that podcast. And I go over the details of how this works. The summary statement is right here. You have multiple serious girlfriends or wives. They're all aware of each other, but they live in completely different countries. And I don't have this on here. You don't live with any of them full time. You can spend a few days a week. You don't live with them. You live in your own apartment, your own house. She lives in her own house down the street. And you have another one in another country, another one in another country, as many as you want, as many as you can do. But you don't want too many. I have 2 right now, and I'm working on a 3rd here in Dubai. But my Dubai one is not official yet. FBs are also allowed. It's almost like having multiple OLTRs, but not in the same country. They're thousands of miles away from each other. They're aware of each other. You're not hiding anything. You're not lying. Remember, I said no lying. They know who each other are. And they know when you're in that country with that person. But they're separate. Only for location-dependent international 5 flags men with lots of women experience, as I explained in that podcast a few weeks ago. Go watch that podcast, watch that video. Okay, this is what I'm doing now. I've been doing this for about a year and a half. So far, I like it. Like, a lot. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Next one. Polyfidelity or poly-exclusivity. This is a subset of polyamory, and this is kind of weird, although I've seen guys do this. It can work. This is where a small number, let's see, what do I have here? You are only allowed to have sex with a small number of pre-designated women. So instead of saying I can fuck anyone I want, there's different versions of this. I'll explain in a second. You only have sex with Jennifer, Susie, and Sally. Those 3, and that's it. And you've made commitments to Jennifer, Susie, and Sally. You're only going to fuck Jennifer and Susie and Sally. You're not going to fuck anybody else. Poly-exclusive. You're exclusive to a group. Does that make sense? If you have sex with anyone else, that's considered cheating, and that's bad. So it's a little less freedom. Let me back this up. So let me give you 2 examples of this. A polyamory example and an OLTR type example. In a polyamorous example, you would have, and I see people in Portland do this. I've never done this, but I've seen people pull this off. You have a small group. Let's say you have 5 people. You have 2 men and 3 women, okay? And the 5 people as a group decide we're only going to fuck each other. So the men fuck the 3 women fuck the men individually, and that's it. They don't fuck outside of the group. So they're non-monogamous, open relationship, but they're exclusive to 3 women or 2 men. Does that make sense? Well, why would they do that, Caleb? Well, a number of reasons. They don't have to use condoms. A lot of you guys talk about how much you hate condoms. That's a way of not using condoms. They only fuck each other. You all get STD tests. You show me that, and you're good. It's a way of the women feeling safer. Women generally kind of like this stuff. If a man doesn't want to date a bunch of new girls, he's cool with that. So it can work. I've never done that model, but it can work. OLTR model would work like this. Matter of fact, Pink Firefly and I discussed this at one point. We didn't do it, but we discussed it. Where you have a girlfriend or wife, OLTR, and you have 2 FBs, let's say. And so you promise your OLTR girlfriend or wife, you will only fuck her and these 2 FBs, Susie and Sally, and that's it. That's it. That's it. You're going to fuck anyone else. So then your OLTR wife goes, okay, good. That just gives me a little confidence because I know who they are. And I know they're not whores and you're not out fucking all these people. And I can relax about STDs. And it's just, it helps relax her. And then it helps you maybe maintain a longer or deeper relationship with your FBs on the side. Okay. So that's what poly-exclusivity means, or polyfidelity. They mean the same thing. Can work as long as there are systems in place to replace women if needed. This is a key point. If you're going to try this, there's nothing wrong with this, but You need to have a system in place. Let's say you have an OLTR and you agree to do this. You have two FBs inside. You can only fuck those two FBs. Great. Your wife is very happy now. However, hang on a second. What happens when those FBs leaves? Because they will. It's called a listen fee. That's what FBs do. Eventually, she'll leave. Even if it's a sugar daddy thing, eventually she'll get a boyfriend or something. Okay? Right? So now you can fuck your wife, Jennifer, and you can fuck Susie or Sally. Sally leaves. So now you can only fuck Susie. You're like, oh shit. Your wife goes, well, good. Can't do that. When you're discussing this model with your girlfriend or wife, you say, no, wait a second. Okay, I'll only fuck Susie and Sally. However, as soon as one of those two girls leaves, I have the authority to go out and get a new one and replace them. Okay, sweetheart? Because you don't want her to like think, okay, eventually Susie will leave, then Sally will leave, then he's monogamous. Can't have that. This is how women think. Got to offset that shit. So as long as you have a system of replacing new women, you're good. Next one, I think it's the last one. Unicorn marriage. Again, I didn't make this term up, but I've seen it used. I have never seen anyone actually do this, but I have heard of it through the grapevine of people doing it. People I know who know people have done this because it's kind of hard to do. Not something I would do. I thought about it when I was married. Here's how it works, and hard to do, but here it is. If you want to give this a shot, you live with your OLTR wife, okay? Then you live also with an FB, almost like an MLTR, a third person in your relationship who is the quote unicorn. So she has a bedroom in your house. She lives in your home. She's not your wife. You don't have two wives. That's insane. Remember I said that earlier? So you still have your OLTR wife that you sleep with. You got this other, whatever you call her, let's call her unicorn, down the hall, and she lives in your house, and you can fuck her whenever you want. And unicorn means she also fucks your wife if your wife likes girls. So she fucks both of you. Threesomes, independently, whatever you guys work out. Okay? Or maybe she doesn't fuck your wife. It's up to your wife. Closest approximation I could give you this was when Hugh Hefner was doing his thing when he had 3 girlfriends. Now, he actually didn't have 3 girlfriends. He had 1 girlfriend and 2 MLTRs, live-in MLTRs, right? So back in the old school, matter of fact, I've got a book on my bookshelf that my wife gave me, written by Holly Madison, who was the main girlfriend back then. So Hugh Hefner, if you remember the Girls Next Door from like the early 2000s, he had 3 girls. He had Holly, Kendra, and Bridget, right? And so Holly was what they called the main girlfriend. So when he slept at night, he slept with Holly every night. Kendra and Bridget had their own rooms down the hall. Now, they'd all go out together, but Holly was the main girl. So it's similar to what I'm talking about, not exactly, but close. Okay. Fun, but not long-term sustainable because the side woman will eventually want a boyfriend and leave. Correct. No woman is going to agree to be the number 2 girl the rest of her life. She will in her 20s. If she's 22, 25, 26, 27, yeah, especially if you have money, and sure. Is she going to do the rest of her life? No, then she's going to want her own boyfriend, and she'll leave. However, what you could do, I thought about this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to live with any more women. I told you about this in my prior podcast. But I had thought, I'll give this some thought in terms of me and other people. Again, you can set up a system where you can bring in a replacement. So if she decides to leave, great, she leaves, then you and her wife go find a new one, which may take some time because your wife has to like her too. So it's not like you just go get a new FB and bring her in. Your wife has to agree to all this shit. So that may take 6 months, a year to find a new girl who meets all the parameters. But it's conceivable, right? So, summary statement of all this is, this means the only forms of non-monogamy that are good, that will make you happy, and that are long-term sustainable. So those are the models. Non-monogamy that will make you happy, which means low drama or no drama, no sneaking around, right? And long-term sustainable. You can do it for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. The only ones that match those 2 criteria are the ones we talk about here at Alpha Male 2.0. FB, which means friends with benefits. MLTR, which means multi-long-term relationships. That means dating multiple women, but you're not your girlfriends, but you're dating them. Unlike FBs, you just hook up with. They're your friends. OLTR is the Alpha Male 2.0 version of a girlfriend. Emotionally exclusive, but you can hook up with women on the side. OLTR wife There's an OLTR you live with. Whether or not legally married doesn't matter. And then I just added PDM. There's an asterisk by that because it's not quite proven yet. I've been doing it for about 1.5 years. Give me another year or two, and I can more accurately say, hey, this works. It's more of an experiment right now. So far, it's working great. Matter of fact, in many ways, it's working better than I expected. For certain types of men, a very small category of men anyway. Everything else I listed, every other model I talked about, the other 10 models, is either temporary or cause you a lot of drama and bullshit in your life. Period. So if you hear about anyone else on the internet engaging these other models, what do we know for sure? We know one of two things or both these things. One, that guy's dealing with a lot of drama from his girlfriend or wife. Or in the rare cases he's not, that guy's days are numbered. That relationship, those days are numbered in that relationship. It's not going to last. It's not going to last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It may maybe 2 years. It's not going to last 5. Not going to last anywhere near the length of relationships I have in my life on a regular basis. I have several women that have gone 10 plus years with me right now. That's not going to happen with these other models. And if it does, it's a Mediterranean marriage where there's nonstop drama all the time. Make sense? Okay, that's it. Let's answer your questions here. How are we doing time? I'll answer your questions for a few minutes, and then I got to go. I see a lot. Bumble came up with an AI feature that searches through all of your photos on your phone and picks the 6 best ones. I would not do that. Do you think it's worth a try? Should I stick with the 3-photo model? Do not do that. First of all, 6 is too many. Second of all, I don't trust AI right now in January 2025 to know exactly what women want. In about 2 or 3 years, yes. Now, no, don't do it. For my photos, it chose 4. Okay, don't care. Last podcast on your Unchained CEO channel, I meant for my business, not for finding a niche. I've been at it for 1 year and got a majority of responses saying not interested. My same answer. Why did it take you a year? Oh, no, that's not right. That's not right. I don't know how many outreaches you did in a year. I have a feeling you're not marketing very much in that 12-month period. Were you on the phone every fucking day, 5 days a week, calling new people for a year? I doubt it. Combine online dating and day game if your population is a big, at least 1 million or so. Correct. Thoughts on guys using pictures of male models on online dating and the profiles getting 200 matches in 15 to 20 minutes. That's always been the case since day one. That's nothing new. Correct. Isn't this what we are competing with? Yes, you're competing with that. Not relevant. Do you want to fuck 100 girls? You trying to fuck 100 girls right now? Or you want to fuck 2? Want to fuck 2? That's very doable within that statistical model. How many first dates should we have on a week if the goal is to build a rotation of 1 FB and 1 MLTR? As many as you can schedule in, based on as many as you can schedule. I had weeks where I did 15, 16, 17 first dates in 1 week. So if you're serious about this, every fucking night and all weekends, one other kind of time, whatever time you have. Get it as fast as you can. But Caleb, monogamy is amazing the first few months, especially when you find a woman who checks all the boxes. Sarcasm. Cute. Now, what you're saying about monogamy is accurate. NRE is the high of monogamy, the first few months. That's when monogamy is enjoyable. That's the only time monogamy is enjoyable, the first few months, until she stops giving you blowjobs, all right? Or you say, let's fuck. She's like, I'm tired. Can we just cuddle? Until that shit kicks in within a few months. Devil's advocate. From a time management perspective, isn't having one woman more efficient, especially if you're building your business and internationalizing your life? Yes, but by that argument, you shouldn't have any sex with anybody, right? So is it more time management efficient to have no sex? Yes. Should you have no sex because it's time management efficient? No. There's a bare minimum requirement you need as a man. When I talk about the unchained man, you need a foundation of sex and money. You can't just say no sex. Or monogamy, which equals no sex shortly. So that's the answer to that. You have other factors at play besides your time management. When will you do the live stream on frequently asked questions during your one-on-one coaching experience? I'm not, because when I thought about it, there was no consensus. They were all over the map. If my goal is to get 1 MLTR and 1 FB, should I have my filters as wide as possible? Yes. Including all ethnicities? Yes. And ages? That I don't know. Depends. You might want to draw a line at 33. Or specific to a certain demographic. I'm a 30-year-old Indian man. Draw the line at 33 or 30 and below. Other than that, yes. You say monogamy sucks, but many people doesn't cheat. Also, even though many cheats, 25 to 45%. No, it's higher than that. It's about 77% in the Western world. At lifetime frequency, adultery is less than 5 to 10%. Show me your data, and I have a feeling based on your English that you don't live in the Western world. I said the Western world. If you live in Saudi Arabia, you're right. If you live in Taiwan, you're right. Monogamy is much better at those places. I'm not talking about Taiwan or Saudi Arabia or the other things. Okay. The millennials, they had the Soldier Boy dance, and the Gen Z now have the TikTok dances. What dance did the Gen Z had? I wouldn't know. I wasn't cool during when I was younger. I didn't go to clubs. That one where you have your hands out like this. I can't show you in the little video here. I don't know. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I didn't go to a lot of bars and clubs when I was a young guy in my 20s. Was busy working. Thoughts on Mario Lopez being 51 and looking great? A, he's Hispanic. He has darker skin. Darker skin means you age better. B, he's wealthy. He can afford all this stuff, which is good for him. Talk about monogamy not working. Didn't he cheat on his last 2 wives? Yeah. Where do you prefer having sex, in the living room or bedroom? On the floor. I don't care what room it is. What kind of stretches do you do to prevent injury? I have an entire stretching routine. It takes me half an hour. If you're a part of my immersion service, I did it for you. I showed all the stretches. Too many to explain in a quick answer. It literally takes me 30 minutes. I do my entire body plus some problem areas in my body. If your wife was friends with a man like Andrew Tate, how would you feel about it knowing he would try to fuck her and he'll have high SMV and elite women skills? I would not care at all, neither should you. How not to feel weird when going out on weekends and weeknights and weekends doing day game, night game while living at home, working on moving this year, but to take action to get my women no matter the circumstances. How to not feel weird? Why would you feel weird? I don't understand the question. I don't care what other people think about me because I'm not going to be dependent. You're talking about you live at home with your parents and you don't want your parents judging you? You're an adult man. You're allowed to do whatever you want. There was a brief time I moved back home with my parents for like 2 months while I was saving up for my first piece of real estate. I think like a month or two. And I would go out and fuck. I had an FB. And I would go out and fuck her. And I'd be late, come home at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. My parents, he was like, well, Caleb's probably getting late or whatever. I don't know. At 31, I only have 2 FBs. What's only? There's nothing wrong with 2 FBs. 2 FBs is fantastic. How many men have 2 FBs? You're in the top 1% of men. There's no only about that. You should be proud of yourself. That's wonderful. I'm going to jump back on the apps again. I've noticed that my relationships are usually very short, but I get laid easily. You probably have too much player vibe. Too much player vibe. If you're like, I get laid really easily, but they're really short, you're acting too much like a player. Dial back the player. Dial back the pickup artisty guy. Dial back that fake shit. Be a little more real, a little beta. 15% beta, 85% player. Not 100% player. That's your problem. No evolutionary biologists say jealousy is not natural. What? I never said jealousy was not natural. One of the defining characteristics of OLTR is emotional exclusivity. When it comes to your new PDM model, doesn't mean you're no longer emotionally exclusive. Correct, I'm not. I am poly-exclusive. So I switched from a emotionally exclusive to a poly-exclusive. Not exactly. Poly-emotionally exclusive. I'm emotionally exclusive to 2 or 3 women, and that's it. Instead of 1 woman. That's the change. Or you're still an EE, but to 3 women only. Yes, I'm emotionally exclusive to 3 women only. It's really 2.5 right now. The Dubai one's not 100% official yet. But yes, that's correct. So I'm emotionally exclusive to Pink Firefly, to Paraguay wife, and maybe to Dubai wife, Dubai candidate. Correct. When was your eureka moment when it came to women? Meaning the moment you suddenly understood something important, had a great idea, and found the answer to a problem. I had many. There was never one big eureka moment for me ever. The turning point in my life was my divorce when I was 35, 20 fucking years ago. I said, monogamy sucks. It doesn't work. It didn't make me happy. Even if it had worked, it would not have made me happy. I am never being monogamous again. So my goal in life right now, back in 2007, was I need to figure out how to make long-term monogamy sustainable for me, and then I can be happy the rest of my life. And I was right. And then there were lots of little moments that I discovered things, but there was like maybe 50 of them, not 50, 25 of those moments throughout, 3, 4, 5 years. How hard is it for serial cheaters for them to transfer to non-monogamy? In my experience, is pretty hard. They tend to be alpha male 1.0s. Pretty hard. I've talked to some serial cheaters, and I'm dumbfounded by how they are still defend monogamy after their behavior. Yes, absolutely. I've run that same exact thing. These are alpha male 1.0s who think monogamy is great, and they're banging other chicks. What? You know who else? This is really hilarious. You know who else defends cheating? Cheating women, cheating wives. I've spoken to many wives who cheat on their husbands and women who cheat on their live-in boyfriends, which is kind of the same thing. They'll defend it too. They will defend monogamy to the day they die. Oh no, yes, you should get married and be monogamous. Very important. You're fucking other guys, or in some cases, you're fucking me. I just came inside you without a condom, and you have a husband. No, I haven't done that in many years. It's a long, long time ago. I stopped dating married women a long, long time ago. But back in the day, oh yes, no monogamy. Oh yes, marriage. Oh, traditional marriage. Oh yes. It's bullshit. Societal programming. If you're emotionally exclusive to, let's say, 3 women only, that's kind of me, yeah. Even though it's 3 women, but it violates the concept of exclusivity itself. Correct, because it's emotionally exclusive. It means you can be emotionally attached to one woman. You're right. So just like I explained poly-exclusivity, I think you typed that comment before I explained poly-exclusivity. I'm poly-exclusive. I'm exclusive to a small number of key named women instead of exclusive to one woman. So I am still exclusive. I'm just exclusive to a small number of women instead of one. I'm exclusive to 3 instead of 1. I'm still exclusive to those 3. I can't go date girl number 4, girl number 5, girl number 6. Can't do that. I don't want to. But I understand your point. I have also cheated in every relationship I've been in. That's a serious problem you need to fix. You don't just say, well, that's just how I am. No, you need to fix. That is a character defect in your brain you need to fucking address. If you're a serial cheater. If you're a serial cheater, I don't care how cool you are. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how hot your girlfriends have been. None of that matters. You will never be happy until you fix that problem. I have never cheated on a woman in my entire life. And I'm 52 years old. I'm one of the few men on earth who's had sex with a number of women who can say that. I've never cheated. You know why? I'm not monogamous. I was monogamous once. I was in a 9-year marriage, and I did not cheat. I wanted to. It was hard to stay faithful, but I do what I promise. I can't lie, so I didn't cheat. Okay? You got to address this. Anyway, going on with your question, honesty would be better in going forward. You think? Yes. I'll restart my apps again soon after a bad breakup in August. Work on that. No more monogamy. No more promising. If you're a serial cheater, there's a real simple fix. Don't ever promise a woman monogamy ever again. The same promise I made to myself in 2007. How long ago is that? 18 years? Coming up my 18th anniversary next month as an Alpha Male 2.0. I said in 2007, February of 2007, sat in my little apartment. I said, I swear to myself, Caleb, I make the solemn vow to myself, I will never, ever, ever, ever promise a woman monogamy ever fucking again. I don't care if I'm 75 years old. And I made good on that promise, and boy, do I live a good life now because of that promise. Thoughts on a UK female correction officer having sex with an inmate and was filmed and went viral? I don't know about this. If you were in prison, would you try to seduce a female worker? If I was a guy in prison and there was a female guard and she was moderately attractive, are you kidding? I'd be all over her. Yeah, sure. I once saw a video of a hot blonde chick having sex in the airplane bathroom. It was a private plane. It was OnlyFans leaked. I think that one probably was staged. Have you ever been sexual in the airplane or airport? No, having sex in a bathroom doesn't turn me on. That's not a thing that turns me on. I know it turns on other guys. Plus, I am big. You can't really tell in these videos. I'm a big guy. I can barely fit in those bathrooms. Me with a chick, even if it was a little chick, that'd be a nightmare. It wouldn't be fun. Even mainstream liberals like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris do not practice non-monogamy. Correct. Even if extreme liberals who promote sexual liberty do not embrace it, how difficult will it be for the average person? Extremely difficult. The vast majority of humanity will not do anything I'm suggesting. It's extremely difficult. Alpha Male 2.0 is only for 10% of men. The other 90% will pursue monogamy and have all kinds of problems. Much older men dating younger women is a thing. Yes, it is. There seems to be a weird stigma from other women and men who say the age gap with men and with women should be closer, going as far as saying it's pedophilia. You have much less of that now than you did 15 years ago when I was dating younger women. So but there are some people, sure, of course. There will always be people, and they're usually older women. If you pay attention to people bitching about that, who does it tend to be? What demographic? Older women who don't want the competition from younger women. How many older men really complain about older men banging younger chicks? How many young girls really complain about older guys banging her? Yeah. See my point? Do you spank her during sex? What percentage of women like it? I'm not a big spanker. If you like it, spank the shit out of these bitches. I'm not a big spanker. That's not something that turns me on. Other things turn me on, but not that. What percentage of women like it? It's hard to say. At least 15%. Spanking turns on a lot of chicks, especially younger ones, because they watch all that goddamn porn. So 15%. That's a guess. I don't know. I wouldn't know. According to Psychology Today, oh, great. They said to accept that it's normal to be turned on when you hear sex noises. Of course it is. Your brain is wired with mirror neurons, which makes you automatically imitate the physiology, actions, and emotions of others. They yawn, you yawn. Yeah, great. They're aroused, you're aroused because it's talk about dealing when you hear neighbors having sex. Yes, absolutely true. I've had threesomes where when I have threesomes, I've talked about this before, I don't like to fuck two women at once. I like to take turns. Even if one woman is laying right next to me and I'm fucking one and she's right next to me. And so I've done that several times where the woman who's waiting her turn, she'll put on one of my masks for your eyes when I travel, when you can't see anything, sleeping masks. She'll put on a sleeping mask and maybe like do herself or something. And the fact that she's hearing me fuck her best friend right next to her turns her on. And she'll like take it off. She goes, oh my God, that was so hot. Listen to you guys fuck. Oh my God. So absolutely, that's a big turn on. You bet. You betcha. Have you been in a situation where you think a woman is single, but come to find out she has a boyfriend? Many times, yes. Women cheat. Monogamy doesn't work. As she does not mention him and there's no pictures of him or anything. Thoughts? Thoughts? Monogamy doesn't work. Women cheat, especially younger women. Yes. You should never be surprised. I've had that happen quite a bit. Is it silly of me to worry about getting reported by two women whom I upset back? Yes, 2% rule. You teach two-way open relationship model. However, there has been women who think that any man that allows his girlfriend or wife to be with other men does not value her. Sure, there are dumb women who are societally programmed and brainwashed who think that. They're not right, but yes. Otherwise, if her care and value, he wouldn't allow it. Thoughts? This is false. This is false from societal programming. The reason they're saying that so inaccurate statement is because that's what they've been wired to think since they were a little girl. Their mom says, well, if a man values you, then he'll only fuck you. And okay, mommy. And they, rom-coms, and it's societal programming. Societal programming is false. What is the definition of societal programming? Falsehoods taught by society that sound right, but are actually false in real life. I value Pink Firefly. I can't begin to tell you how much I value her. It has nothing to do with when I fuck other women. But you can't convince those women. They're too brainwashed. It's like trying to convince a hardcore Christian that Jesus didn't actually walk on the water. Yes, he did. Okay, you can't convince, right? They're not rational. If your MLTR is not in the mood for sex, you grab your phone and text other women and she will notice. There's ways of doing that and ways of not doing it. You don't like, again, drama. Okay, you want low drama relationships. So if you try to fuck your MLTR and she goes, no, I don't want to fuck. You say, okay, great, whatever. And you pull out your phone right in front of her and just start texting other girls. Probably don't want to do that. It'll cause drama. What are you doing? I'm texting other girls. I want to fuck someone else because you want to fuck me. You're just going to start an argument, right? Did you also do this before you had the talk? Seems weird in the implicit. Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do it right in front of her. Now, there are ways of doing it in front of a woman, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're a beginner. Just say, okay. Now, here's what I will do. If an MLTR, and that's very, by the way, very rare for an MLTR to not want to fuck you. So if an MLTR, OLTR, that's more common because she's your girlfriend. That's a little different. Or your wife, that's normal. But if an MLTR doesn't want to fuck you, someone you only see once a week you're dating, she should be excited to fuck you. If she doesn't want to fuck you, That's a red flag. You need to kind of figure that out. So you may be doing something wrong, indicative of possibly you do something wrong. Item 1. Item 2. What was item 2? You can say, if an MLTR doesn't want to have sex, you can say, okay, I understand. Well, let's wrap this up today then. I'm sure you got to get back home and for work tomorrow. And you can just wrap it up right then. Well, why? Well, you don't want to have sex. Well, don't you want to just talk? Well, we just talked for an hour. We just talked for 2 hours. You can do that. You can nicely kick her out and send a message. If you're not going to have sex, I think we're done here. Great. That's okay. Providing your framing is good, you're being polite, all that shit. You're doing the cardinal rules. A lot of ifs to that statement. Mediterranean marriages are also common amongst Africans, from what I've seen. Yes, that is true. Accurate. I have seen that as well. I'm less versed in that culture, but you're right. Mediterranean marriage is an African thing. You're right. Black guys tend to be more alpha 1.0, and the alpha 1.0 is going to cheat, right? Is it silly to be worried about upset? Carney asked that. Is this live? Yes, this is live. All my things are live. If your MLTR is not in the mood for sex, care to answer that question? Seems like a lot of guys stumble in the implicit phase. Could you do a podcast about that? It sounds like you're stumbling in the implicit phase. I don't think a lot of guys stumble. A lot of guys stumble in all the phases. But I could do a podcast on that, sure. Like Mexican marriage with money. There are some toxic relationships where a man physically assaults and cheats on their wife, yet the woman stays for years and never leaves. Correct. There are those relationships. Yeah, they're really stupid. Huh? Are women like that really fucked up mentally? Yes. Called codependency. Yep. There are some women like that. Mm-hmm. Those women will actually subconsciously seek out abusive men. Read the blog post I have going up at the Alpha Male 2.0 blog, alphamale20.com/blog. That's going up next week. Not this week, but next week. About a woman I know. Now, many people are duplicitous in their sexual behaviors, meaning some will defend monogamy. Monogamy is part of an institution mechanism because we are a biparental species. So is all societal programming. Right. What Western culture and other cultures have done is mixed up pair bonding with monogamy. Not mixed up. They have merged pair bonding and monogamy, which is dumb. There should be two separate things. Pair bonding without monogamy. Pair bonding is wonderful. I'm pro pair bonding. I love pair bonding. That's my thing. I know it sounds weird for me to say that. Pair bonding, as long as you're non-monogamous. Pair bonding with chicks on the side, whatever I want. That'll make you happy. So that's society's mistake. It started in about 300 BC with Constantine in the Roman Empire, and I've talked about this. Okay, the first Constantine was the first Christian Roman emperor. That's when monogamy started spreading out throughout the Western world. Started there. Before that, it wasn't really a thing. It was kind of a thing. But husbands cheated. Husbands in particular. Should I go to law school? No. Do not go to law school. No. I got a scholarship and it doesn't hurt to have credentials. No. Law school helps people who want to be employees the rest of their lives. You want to start a business? No one gives a fuck. Have credentials when networking? No. I plan on doing the 90 Biz Builder after school. No. Do not go to law school. Do not go to law school. You are a moron if you go to law school. Unless your goal in life is to be an employee. You just said you want to join 90 Biz Builder, which means you don't want to be an employee. Skip fucking law school. That's insanity. I don't care if you have a scholarship. It's 4 years, 4 key years out of your life, or 3 years, whatever long it is. Did you find that FBs are much more unstable than MLTRs? Define unstable. I don't know what you mean by that. They last shorter? Yes, they can. Mm-hmm. How long does the typical FB last? Well, my numbers are not going to be anything like your numbers because I've been doing this for 20 years. I have FBs that last years. You're looking at a year to year and a half, 6 months to 18 months, somewhere in there when you get started. And slowly over time, that increases as you get better. What are some tips for retention? That is a very big, broad question with a lot of answers. The short answer is the cardinal rules. Go watch my videos on the cardinal rules, on my blog posts on the cardinal rules, or go to store.calebjones.com and get the book called The Ultimate Open Relationships Manual, which will in detail tell you about retention, including the cardinal rules. Get my book or the course. Book is cheaper. Have you had sex with a woman who is on top of a pool table? You guys are so funny. Or leaning on the pool table while doing doggy style? A pool table? Lots of things. I can't think of a pool table. No. Everything, other tables and objects, yes. Pool table, no, I don't think so. How about 10-10-10 relationships? I don't know what that means. Why would a woman wants to stop threesome if she also likes women? Yeah, you must be very young. Women eventually get tired of this shit because they have ASE that spikes around age 33. Then they find that sexual stuff is gross, usually around age 33 or so. I got to lock in 2 hookups before Christmas, and she broke off our 4th date and is ghosting me. How common is that? That's not common, but you did something wrong, or you're doing too much player activities. It is not common for a woman to ghost you after the second time you fucked her. You probably did something wrong. I almost guarantee it. You said something mean, or I don't know what you did. So that is not typical. Women doesn't want threesome because they think it's gross. Older women over the age of 33 don't want it. Younger women think it's great. Research have found that summer is the time when people are the most sexually active, August being the busiest, and also during the winter holiday season because of the holiday cheer. Thoughts? Sexually active and dating are 2 different things. So sexually active with a guy like winter, sexually active with a guy they're already dating, their boyfriend or their husband, especially if it's a new boyfriend or husband. It's a terrible time to go but she's not sexually active with new men in the winter. Summer, yeah. Winter, no. Not new men. So sexually active does not mean dating on Tinder, getting laid. See the difference? It should mean she's having sex with someone. And if it's Christmas time, that someone is beta male boyfriend. John Anthony Lifestyle says that due to his outcome independence, he can't allow his wife to smash other guys. Do you not understand how that statement makes no sense? Reread your own statement so you can see how that statement makes literally no sense. If he was outcome independence, he wouldn't care. So that statement makes no sense. Remember reading your relationship boxes theory. Since OLTR is all about emotional exclusivity, does it mean your OLTR model only applies to guys with 1 love box? Can a guy with 2 or 3 love boxes have an OLTR? Yes, a guy with 2 or 3 love boxes can have an OLTR. Can. That means you have the ability to love more than women. You don't have to. If you read my boxes stuff, you don't have to fill the box. You can fill them. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to. If you have 10 sex boxes, that doesn't mean you need to have 10 FBs. I have 10 sex boxes. Doesn't mean I have to have, no, I could have 2. I'm very happy. I could go up to 10. Now, I've had up to like 8 a long time ago. Okay. People with higher incomes generally tend to date more. I don't know that. I don't think that's true. As having a higher income can provide greater financial flexibility to go on dates and participate in social activities, potentially leading to more dating opportunities. I don't think that's accurate. I mean, maybe a certain demographic, like men under 35 who are totally single who have more money date more, maybe. But even that I don't think is true. Most men I know who make a lot of money do not date. They don't get laid at all, or they have beta male monogamous relationships. So I don't believe that statistic. You can show me your data. Should you give the girl an ultimatum if the woman stops threesomes or something else agreed upon? Should you? That's up to you. It's a decision you make. I don't do ultimatums. I just tell women what I'm going to do. Do ultimatums work? They can. It's not my style. That's outcome dependent. Ultimatums means, well, it's a complicated topic. Do they work? They can. But do you want to be in a relationship? The only reason you have a relationship is you gave her an ultimatum. I don't. And are women still attracted to dominance like strong boundaries? They can be attracted to it, but then eventually they get tired of it and they leave. Women love alpha male 1.0s for about 2 years, and then they fucking leave because they're tired of the boundaries. But during those 2 years, they're really turned on, yes. If a woman a young girl first meets someone like Andrew Tate, she'll be super fucking turned on, and she'll fuck the shit out of him for about 1.5 years, 2 years. Then she'll be like, oh my God, I'm tired of this guy yelling at me all the time. Tell me what to do. Fuck that. And she'll leave. I don't give ultimatums. Here's what I do. I'm just going to say, sweetheart, you can do whatever you want. So let me try and think of an example, but instead of an ultimatum, I'll say, sweetheart, you can do whatever you want. Here's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go fuck these 2 girls. If that is a deal breaker for you and you want to break up with me, I completely understand. I would hate to see you go. I think you're wonderful, but I understand. But I'm going to go do this because that's, as you know, I don't do monogamy. So if I was in a relationship and I was a moron and I had a threesome only relationship, I don't want to do threesomes anymore. Then I would say, first of all, that would never happen to me because I wouldn't be stupid to agree to a relationship like that. But let's say in a weird scenario, I was in that relationship. I don't want threesomes anymore. Great, sweetheart. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start having 1 or 2 FBs on the side. It'd be a miniature version of the talk. I'm going to wear condoms when I fuck them. I'm not going to bring them home. You're going to be my girlfriend. I'm not going to date these girls. They're just hoes. But I'm going to fuck 2 girls on the side because that's kind of what we're doing. If you have every right to change your mind, sweetheart. You can do whatever you want. But we agreed that I was going to fuck other women. So I'm not going to be monogamous just because you changed your mind. You are more than welcome to change your mind. That's fine. I respect your opinion. That's fine. You don't have to do anything. But here's what I'm going to go do. Now, if that's a deal breaker for you, you want to dump me and break up with me immediately, I'm going to have a really bad day. I'm going to cry. I'm going to hate it. I'm not going to cry. But I understand, but I'll let you go. That's what I would say. See, is that an ultimatum? No. It's just me telling her what I'm going to go do, and now the ball's in her court. That's alpha male 2.0. The alpha male 2.0 does not give commands. He just says what he's going to do. The alpha male 1.0 says, you're going to do this. And the beta male goes, come on, come on. I mean, oh my God, come on. What the fuck? That's what a beta male does. Alpha male 2.0 says, I'm going to go do this. You don't like it? You want to leave? Great. No, don't say great. That's your framing. You don't say great. You say that would be bad. I love you, but okay, I understand. I'm going to go do this. Ball's in your court now, sweetheart. Is there such a thing as being an ethical player? Yes, me. I was a player for many years and I was ethical. I never lied to anybody. I've had multiple older guys tell me they're matured and stopped being a player. Yes, that is societal programming. Numerous pickup artists I debated online about monogamy when they were pro-monogamy say, you know, at some point, Caleb, you got to grow up. So societal programming has told them, if you're a grown man, you don't fuck multiple women or you only fuck one. Grown men, mature men, grown-ups only fuck one girl. Where does that come from? Societal programming, which is false. When I asked how they behaved during their player days, I found out they were obviously unethical lying. Right, including randos, getting randos pregnant. Correct. They're overcorrecting. That's what Roosh did. Yes, that's what very common. Will society always view players as unethical? Probably yes. How do you think Andrew Tate's relationship with his women contributed to him going to jail? Was it just his alpha male 1.0 controlling behavior? Yes, that's exactly what it was. I'll say it again. Women love alpha male 1.0s at the earlier stages of the relationship. It's very exciting for a woman to start fucking, when it's new, an alpha male 1.0. Especially an alpha male 1.0 like Andrew Tate, who is rich and strong and good looking and has a 6-pack and lives there. That's very exciting for a girl. For a YO. So while he's screaming at her and telling her what to do, she's so turned on, that's fine. Matter of fact, that's part of the appeal. Because who did she fuck before him? Beta males. So the difference really turns her on. But then, do women, Western women in the Western world, do they like being yelled at and told what to do forever? No. Within about 18 months on average or less, they're like, oh my God, fuck this. And they're out. Now they say, you can't leave. Well, now you got big problems. I'm not saying he did that. But yes, that is directly what happened. What's the main difference between high-end MLTR and OLTR? Can we say an 8 or 9 MLTR as an OLTR? I don't understand the last question. The difference is that you are not emotionally exclusive to a high-end MLTR. You can still date other women. That's the biggest difference. As soon as she becomes OLTR, you can't have any other MLTRs. But you can have a high-end MLTR and have other MLTRs. I've done it. That's fine. She's just your favorite of your other MLTRs. I was living in frustrated celibacy. In other words, I was an incel, however, changed because of the neighbors were having sex all the time, and I was able to hear it. You need to get off. Troy Wolf, get off this thing about listening to people having sex. You brought this up many times. Move on. It seems the stoic stuff is attractive to girls. Most girls, or many girls, not all girls. Some girls are very turned off by this. But a lot of women, yes. Is this a kind of soft dominance that works? Yes. Soft dominance is one way you could describe the alpha male 2.0. Yeah. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. No one's going to tell me what to do, but I'm happy and I'm chilling. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Yeah, it's extremely attractive to women. Extremely. Yep. Outcome independent. The outcome independent alpha male, which is the alpha 2.0. Why not just be one-way monogamous for 6 or 7 months, then tell her she can fuck other guys? Go ahead. Well, if you're going to tell her in 6 months, why not tell her up front? So that question makes no sense. I'm practicing day cold approach because dating apps are terrible nowadays. What should I say to make a woman like me instantly when I cold approach? You can't make a woman like you instantly when you cold approach. A. B. I'm not a day game guy. You're going to have to go ask a day game guy. But you cannot make a woman like you instantly when you cold approach. You open her. She's going to be a little nervous. It's going to take you a few minutes to establish rapport. Have you ever had sex in a truck or an SUV? Yes, many times. If your wife decided to get a Brazilian butt lift, I would love that. Please, Pink Firefly, that's the only problem with her body is her ass is too small. For me, I like big A's. And she has a little tiny, like fit little muscle ass. Cute little ass, right? Some guys like that. That's great. She's got big titties, but I would be jumping for joy if she got a Brazilian butt lift. We've discussed it. That could happen at some point. Now, she's getting older now. She's in her mid-40s, so I don't know if that's a good idea. But hey, you never know. Knowing the male doctor need to grab her butt. Are you really asking this question? How to not let this bother you? Okay, Kaiser, you are one of the most outcome-dependent people on these chat boards. You've got to stop with the outcome dependence. You are constantly worried about every little thing. Stop it. Let it go or go somewhere else. None of these things you're asking about should ever bother you. This is ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. Why too many hot white girls sing Dancing Queen and To Be With You by Mr. Big at the club? I don't go to the club. I don't know. I don't go to clubs. I'm 52. Can't believe young women still sing these songs. You can dance. These are great songs. That's a great song. The dance of your life. Dancing Queen. That's a great song, dude. One of the only good disco songs that's still in pop culture. They're great songs. As they're from your era, yes. Well, sort of. That's early 80s, late 70s, but close enough. Yeah, you're right. That's not my type of music. Okay, then don't fuck them. Only 20% of married men cheat. You said it's 77%. That is correct. 77% at the end of the marriage. Correct. That is correct. Go look it up. 27% of married men cheat at maybe like the first year. You got to look at the data. And if you don't believe me, show me your data. You said your new PDM model violates OLTR's rule of most exclusivity. Correct, because I'm exclusive with more than one person, right? So since PDMs are no longer emotionally exclusive, they are, I already answered this. You may have already typed this before I answered this question. They are emotionally exclusive. They're exclusive to more than one woman instead of just one woman. What's the difference between what's the difference between a PDM and a high-end scale MLTR? Oh, there's a huge difference. High-end MLTR, you can date as many women as you want, and you have to tell her a goddamn thing. You can do whatever you want in a high-end MLTR. You were allowed to go do anything you want. FBs, date MLTRs, do anything you like. That's the difference, because she's not your girlfriend. High-end MLTR is not your girlfriend. It's not. Okay? It's not emotionally exclusive at all. You could have 20 MLTRs if you wanted to, in the same town, in the same street. PDM is, these are serious, long-term girlfriends or wives. Number one. Number two, they are located far away from each other in other countries. Radical difference. A wife is very different than a high-end MLTR. It's not even closer in two different universes. That's the difference. Jealousy in regards to women can often be linked to self-doubt or insecurity. It can be, yes. If you feel uncertain about your own worth, attractiveness, or value in the relationship, you may fear someone else might win her attention or affection. That's accurate. Not all men, but a lot of men. You're right. Mm-hmm. Study found the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that single women were most likely to have sex Monday through Thursday. That matches my experience, yeah. While women in relationships were more active on Friday and Saturday. Exactly matches my experience, yes. I've talked about this. When I was hardcore dating, weekends were for my kids because my kids were little or younger back then. And Sunday night to Friday was dad time. So I got a lot of sex during the week. I didn't have much sex on the weekends unless I had an OLTR or high-end MLTR who could beat my kids. So yeah, yeah, you're right. Can your PDM wife also have a PDM man in another country? No, they are not allowed to do that. And the reason for that is there's some financial support involved. So if they say, why is that fair? I say, well, because I make a lot more money than you. You're benefiting financially from me. So it's fair. They can have FBs. They can't have a PDM. So in that respect, it's one-sided. However, the answer to that is there's some financial support and some commitments I've made that they would not make to me. These women aren't giving me money. They're not helping me pay my bills. Couple envy can stem from comparing your own relationship to what you perceive as a more perfect relationship with another perfect couple. Have you experienced this? Kaiser, I'm done answering your outcome-dependent questions. Thoughts on Miles Cunningham, Mr. Lucario's friends, who always appear in his channel? I don't think I know what that is. Miles, I don't think I know who that is. I know Lucario. Dr. Gadsad said that women are more likely to cheat when they are maximally fertile, yes, and less likely to use birth control because women are wired to look for superior genes, yes, and becomes incumbent to not use birth control. That's the evolution explanation. He is generally accurate, yes. That's not 100% of all women, but speaking broadly, that's accurate, yeah. Women are more likely to cheat when they're ovulating and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's true. When it comes to women who sleep around often, how often is it a woman going through a hoe phase versus a woman just naturally likes sleeping around? Depends on the age. If she's 19, if she's between the age of 16 and 22, it's hoe phase. If she's well past age 23, it's probably she likes it. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. The word slut to me is not a pejorative. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as she takes precautions. She's making guys wear condoms and stuff. Go ahead. Fuck all the guys you want. I don't care. I'm attracted to women with tattoo and piercing. I'm not. Okay, great. For women, tattoos and piercings often signify desire for self-expression, individuality, and a sense of rebellion against societal norms, a way to market personal experiences. It also is an indication of lower self-esteem, by the way. Just look that up. And the Unchained Man book goes against social norms and promotes freedom. True. And freedom of expression by outcome independent. So I feel there's some sort of connection. I've been with many women with tattoos, including right now. One of them has tattoos. Yeah. I don't like it, but I don't. It's fine. If you're smoking hot and you have a great body, you got some tats. Okay. Prefer not, but I'll take it. Don't really care. Be careful because there was a truck driver who got fired because the dash camera as a woman was sucking the truck driver's dick inside the truck in a gas station. Someone's always watching. You shouldn't care. You can film me having sex. I don't care, and neither should you. Well, my boss, you shouldn't have a boss. You shouldn't have a job. Alpha male 2.0, outcome independent. You should not care. I've said this before. There is video of my cock on the internet doing sexual things with a woman. It's on the internet right now. I think there's 2 or 3 of them. You can't find it. There's no audio. My face isn't in it. You'll never know it's my cock, but it's there. It's behind a paywall. You're not going to say where it is, but it's there. Don't care. And if someone found it, said, this is Caleb's cock, and put it all, I would not care. You got to stop caring about this stuff. Sunday overall is a day where most amount of people are having sex, according to the research. Great. Stop. Hector Perez, stop with the stupid research and get laid, please. Is your PDM model follows the poly-exclusivity rule? Yes. You guys have a lot of questions about this. Yes, it's poly-exclusive to 2 or 3 women. Yes. Since you're only exclusive to 2 or 3 women only. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. How do you respond to the polygamous community that claims your models are selfish and only appeal to the male's desires? And it's not truly an egalitarian model. Who says that in the polygamous community? I've spoken to people in the polygamous community, and I have not heard this, unless that's behind my back. It's wrong because the women can do whatever they want also. Your FBs, MLTR, and OLTR can do whatever she wants, and it's the same rule set that she follows for you. Pink Firefly can go fuck all the guys she wants, just like I can fuck all the girls. MLTR, she can go date all the men she wants. So it is egalitarian. It's alpha male 2.0, not 1.0. 1.0 would be anti-egalitarian. 1.0 is, I can do this, but you can't do that. All the rules in all alpha 2.0 relationships, the man and the woman have the same rule set. PDM is slightly different because the man is probably providing financially and the woman isn't because the man makes more money. So that offsets the fact that she can't get other PDMs. She can have FBs though. So it's still fair. Right? And I suppose this wouldn't probably never going to happen. But if a woman was in a PDM relationship with a man and she was making way more money than him and helping him out financially, then she can make the same demand. She can say, all right, man, you can't have other PDMs, but I can because I'm helping you financially, fucker. And that would be perfectly fine. That would be fair. From an evolutionary perspective, is this Hector Perez? Yes, it is. Female moaning during sex is okay. Hector, get off these scientific things. These are listed questions you're asking me. Get off this shit. Was Hugh Hefner a role model in the past? Not for me, no. But now he seems a bad person. Well, there was some bad shit going on with Playboy, the Playboy Mansion. Yes, I don't know how much of that is his fault. Maybe. He was never a role model for me. He did a lot of things wrong. Any tips for good ergonomics for work? As I work from home and I feel bad ergonomics has caused low productivity. You spend as much money as you can on a really good office chair. This is an Aaron, what are they called? Aaron chair? A Harman, whatever. I don't know the brand. You know these chairs? This is an Aaron chair. This is like a $700 chair. You need to get a very expensive chair. I don't have $700. Save up and do it. One of the best expenses you'll ever have. Best things you'll ever die is to get that most expensive chair. Another good chair is the Mira chair, M-I-R-A. Those are good. What you do is you save up several $100s. You go down to a very fancy, high-end chair place for office chairs. You sit in 20 of them with the best ergonomics for your shoulders, and then you get that chair. That'll change your life. Can you have a unicorn marriage where you're regularly getting a new unicorn? I said that, yes. How old do one need to be ideally to start the PDM model? I don't have an age. Older. Because you need many years of non-monogamy experience. So what would that be? At least 40, if not older? Do you have a minimum age requirement? I do not. To make it work and avoid any potential problems. It's not about age. Do you make a lot of money? Number one, yes or no? Do you have 7, 8, 9 years of consistent non-monogamous experience where everything worked out great because you know what you're doing? Yes or no? Are you 100% location dependent? Yes or no? Do you go back and forth between a small number of countries? Or you're planted in one country? Yes or no? Or you go back and forth between a number of countries, or are you a perpetual traveler and go all over the place? Yes or no? That's it. It's not really about age. But all those things are probably going to be older guys, right? Can you find a 28-year-old who can say yes to all those things? Probably not. I'm 22, live in Miami, and things are great sexually. Miami feels superficial and focused on SMV stuff. You are correct. That's similar to Los Angeles. I want to move out of my parents' house, but my dog is very attached to me. Thoughts? Take your dog with you. And the unicorn can be your maid and personal chef. Sure, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. I found you through the Rich Cooper podcast you did years ago. Cool. In that episode, you said Rich is your favorite red pill guy. Yeah, I agree. I still agree with that. What exactly do you like about him? Was a fan. I follow your stuff now. He still has some red pill beliefs that I don't agree with, but he's pretty mild in terms of his red pill stuff. And his observations are very accurate. And he's also focused on taking action, not just spinning your wheels about red pill stuff all day long. That's what I like about him. Rich is a good guy. What's your opinion about Rollo Tomasi? Is he a beta male fraud? Your favorite red pill, Rich Cooper, only supports monogamy or one-sided open relationship. Yeah, I know. That's a problem with red pill. I've said that many times. It's nothing new. Yeah. Is he a beta male fraud? I don't think he's a fraud. Is he a beta male? You could make the argument for beta male or alpha 1.0 for Rollo. You can make an argument for either one. Hello, boys. Sex is not everything in life. Correct. But it is a key foundation in addition to money for masculine happiness. You are a woman. You are a different. Marina M. So you're different. But for men, we need a certain amount of sex and a certain amount of money for us to be long-term happy with the other areas of our life, like our family lives, spiritual lives, and other things. Is sex the only thing? No. Is it the most important thing? No. But it is a foundational thing that all men need to take care of. That's why it's important. Women are different. Women, as you know, Marina M., you could just not have sex for 2 years and you'll be fine because you're a girl. Can men be fine? No, they get all fucked up if they don't do that. Can you still have additional FBs with a unicorn marriage? Yes, but yes, you could. There's nothing against that. Your life philosophy suits me so much more. I don't want to tell women what to do. Good. I always wanted multiple women anyway. Perfect for me, but I do like Rich. Yeah. After you have the talk, how long should you wait to have an OLTR? 6. The OLTR means she has been an MLTR for at least 6 months straight with virtually no problems in that 6-month period. A year is better. Pink Firefly to wait years. Years. So longer the better. 6 months is the minimum. You gotta be really careful. How long is she? Let's see. How long is she willing to wait to become an OLTR? Depends the woman. Older the women are not gonna want to wait as long. Younger women will wait longer. And what should I say while she waits? You don't say anything. You follow the cardinal rules. About 9 of them. And just so you know, women do not like poly shit. Is this Marina again? Yes. Yes, they do. I've dated many scores, dozens of women over 20 years. They're perfectly fine with it as long as the man doesn't lie. And men who does a poly wife will pay literally with divorce. I've been married to my wife for 10 years. We haven't gotten divorced. You're wrong, Marina. Sorry. And women know what you're doing on the internet. All the women know what I'm doing. I tell everybody. We don't. Marina, you're in the wrong place. I talk about men should tell everybody, not hide things. You're in the wrong place. Gen X here. Tough guys do not dance. Right. It's funny. No, if you're, look, if you're a guy who is, let's say, under 45, you should know how to dance at a basic level because there are scenarios you're going to have in your daily life where you have to dance. And if you're a dorky white guy who doesn't know how to dance, you need to learn how to dance. So I did. I sucked it up many years ago. Just get some YouTube videos and dancing for beginners and just, you don't have to look good. You just have to look not bad. If you're under 45, you old fuckers, don't worry about it. Caleb, I want to move over to my house, but I have a pet that's really attracted to me. We already went through this and would suffer because I work long hours. What do you suggest? I suggest you grow up and be a man and stop worrying about your goddamn dog and take charge of your own life and get your own dog. Okay, Marina M., you got to go. Hang on. Now you're being insane. Okay. Also, what if your PDM become emotional with another man? Same thing with an OLTR. We'd have to have a discussion, and she wouldn't like it. Would that violate the arrangement? Yes, but I wouldn't just dump her. I'd have a discussion. Do you love him? Do you want to date him? What do you want? If she's like, well, you know what? No, I don't. Okay, you're going to dump him then? Yeah, okay, I'll dump him. Or she goes, yeah, I love him. Well, okay, bye. You can be an FB. I wouldn't be mad. I'm Malcolm Independent. It's like, well, if you love him, you can't be in a PDM with me. That's not going to work. Talk about being a cuck. So sorry. You had BFB, I'll fuck you. We can be friends. And MLTRs can have other MLTRs. Yes. So why can't PDMs are the PDMs? I already explained that because there's a financial aspect involved. Just like all marriages. All marriages, just about all, with rare exception, the man has to financially support the wife to some degree, right? With rare exceptions. There are rare exceptions. The PDM, same thing. Do you think these liberals who, like Sam Harris Dawkins, who argue for sexual freedom, actually practices strict monogamy? Seems contradictory. No, they probably cheat. They probably cheat. You don't fuck 2 women at the same time, then how's that a threesome? It's not. It's called taking turns. I like that instead. Let's say you have 3 serious girlfriends in 3 different countries. I mean, PDMs. Does that automatically mean I have 3 PDMs? No. Go watch my whole video on PDMs. It's called What I've Been Hiding. Go watch that video. Watch it in detail. No. You have 3 girlfriends in 3 different countries. That means you're cheating. And if one of the girlfriends finds out, she's going to have a nuclear explosion on your ass. So no. Do your ultimate open marriage guide cover the techniques to minimize drama and most effectively move out of a de facto monogamous relationship if the conversation fails? Yes and yes. If your 7-year-old says, I hate you, daddy, how does an alpha male 2.0 respond? Punish for disrespect or ignore and not incentivize poor behavior? I hate you, daddy is okay. I hate you. That's fine. Now, here's what they can't do. You can ask my children. You can't insult dad or mom. So I've told the story before. I'm not going to tell the story. I've given this example before. I have a son and a daughter. My son is in his 30s. My daughter's in his mid-20s. This is when they were very little. Both of them, when they were very little, insulted dad. They did it once and they never did it again. My son, when he was like 5 or 6, called me an idiot. You idiot. Oh. No. He got punished severely. He never did it again. To this very day, he's in his 30s. My daughter, when she was about 4, told me to shut up. No, Dad, you shut up. No. I grabbed her by the shirt slowly, and I brought her little face in. You don't ever tell your dad or your mom to shut up. Do you understand? Yes. And she never did it again. But if she says, I hate you, that's fine. Who cares? That's an opinion. She can state an opinion. Who cares? Let's see. You fucking. Where are we here? Okay, I got to go in a few minutes. I've been answering a lot of questions here. I got to go. Let's say. Okay. What the hell happened here? Pink Firefly. Is Pink Firefly bisexual? No, she will not try that. I wish she would. Does she have threesome with you? No, she likes to watch me fuck other women. She doesn't like threesomes. She likes to sit with a glass of wine and her dog and watch me fuck other women. So I fuck the woman. Great. Then I take her home or kick her out, and then I'll fuck Pink Firefly, maybe. She likes to watch. She doesn't like threesomes. Have you ever dated mother and daughter at the same time? Yes. At the same time. Yes. That was and still is my big fantasy. I've already done that with several mother-daughter couples. I've talked about in the past. Yes, I have. Was it referral? Yes. How was it like? And was it fun? It was amazing, but that's my fantasy. Every guy has their number one sexual fantasy. My number one fantasy since I was a teenager was mother-daughter. That's my big thing. So I made sure it happened. It's happened twice. It may happen again shortly here. So it was great for me, but that's my thing. Some guys don't give a shit. The daughter was cute. Mom was probably around 30s and 40s. Correct in both cases. Yes. One time, the mom was someone I went to high school with, one of the smoking hot girls I never hooked up with in high school. True story. I studied Roman history before Constantine. Men having extramarital sex with slaves and concubines, prostitutes was accepted. Correct. And even expected from men. Strict monogamy almost never existed in Rome. Correct. Monogamy is not the biological default. Correct. That's a societal thing. Talking about financial support, how much money do you plan on spending on each one of your PDMs per month? Very little. Very little, especially the Paraguay, because it's Paraguay. Very little, not much. I already told, go watch my thing. I said, you have to have, all my PDMs have to have their own incomes, their own full-time incomes, and they all do. I'm not going to be your sugar daddy. Women love tattooed men, right? That depends on the woman. I was becoming de facto monogamous with a low-grade MLTR after 8 weeks without seeing a second woman. Don't do that. As soon as there was another woman in the picture, she could sense it and started telling me while we're fucking, she fantasized about second woman in the picture. Yeah, that's what happened to me in Pink Firefly. Yeah. Is there anyone on YouTube or a resource you recommend for more stretching advice? Yeah. What's the guy's name? I don't remember his name. I'll give it to you at some point. Yeah, there's a really good guy. I forget his name. Why do you like one woman at the time instead of why do you like one woman at a time instead of two in a threesome? It's just preference. There's no reason. How realistic is porn threesome? Porn is never realistic. I have a girl who really liked me, but I didn't perform well during the 2 times we had sex. I have terrible sleep habits. Fix that problem. Fix that problem. Don't just say I have terrible sleep habits. Fix your sleep, motherfucker. Number one thing in life. Sleep. Now she gives one-word answers. Bad sex, only a reason women will stop. I don't know. It could be something else. I don't know what else you're doing in a relationship. All right. 1 or 2 more questions, then it's time to go. If you were younger and traveling multiple countries and living in and out of hostels, how would you manage multiple women in close, intense settings? Do any of these relationship models apply? You can only FBs. If you're living out of hostels and you're a PT, perpetual traveler, because you're a young guy, you can only do FBs. I'm sorry. You can't do MLTR because you're going to leave that country. So MLTRs are not possible under that model. FBs, yes, do FBs. FBs are great. OLTR is okay. Who travels with you or is rooted in one country you go back to a lot, but you're probably young. If you're younger, can't have an OLTR if you're under 30. So if you're a PT, I'm sorry, you only get FBs. Now here's the good news. You're not going to live that lifestyle forever, right? In a few years, you're going to settle down again, and then you can have FBs, MLTRs and an OLTR. So you just enjoy it. Yeah, you have to be rooted to make these models work. or at least going back and forth between one, two, three countries that make a circuit. But if you're just going wherever the fuck you want to go, which is cool, that's awesome. I'm glad you're doing that. See the world. Let's experience that when you're young. You can't do MLTRs because you're going to be breaking up every 6 weeks. Right? All right. Tinder shadow banned my account. What to do? Start a new account. You start a new account, new Facebook page if you have to, new Gmail account, do a VPN, start a new account with either new photos or the same photos. I mean, that's all you can do. Or wait 6 months, but start a new account while you wait that 6 months or however long it takes. Cool. All right. I got to go. Announcements in about a day or two about my new book. In about a day or two. Cool. All right.